Today I'm here with Mark Bevington of 9dot, one of Laconic Tech's very best customers. To start us off, Mark, why don't you tell us a little bit about 9dot?
Well, Ken, thanks for having me on. It's such a privilege to be working with you and your team. And 9dot's been around for a couple decades. We're in the core of website design and development and everything inbound marketing. And we think we're better than everybody else, but that's for all those around us to make that judgment and call.
Awesome. Okay, so can we start by talking a little bit about what life was like specifically around lead gen before we worked together on the Dot project? So both what it was like for you internally and sort of what people in the outside world could see.
Life sucked, beforehand. It was really difficult. I think the hardest part for me as an agency owner is having to manually prepare myself quickly or on the fly to give our prospects something of value while I'm talking to them. So that just took me time, and I'm not a young buck anymore. I've been at this game for a while, and my patience is also not what it used to be. So I need something that can instantly, on the fly. I was looking for a solution that could say, hey, here's in 30 seconds, a quick snapshot of the universe of this prospect. I'm like, wow, that'd be pretty cool if we could do that. And arm me with the right language and the right conversation points, just to have some value added, dialogue and see if it goes, see if it was a fit from there.
Yep. So from there, we decided to work on a project that you and the team named Dot. Can you tell us a little bit about what Dot is?
Yeah, it's like the Roaring 20s. I thought Dot was a cute name, so I want to throw it back a little bit. And we are called 9dot, and I just wanted to personify Dot. I thought that was a cute little sassy woman. I was thinking of late 20s, Roaring 20s. I'm a jazz fan on the side as well. I said, Dot's cute. It seems attractive. A lot of our target markets are SVPs or VPs or women. So Dot just seemed like a nice soft touch to me versus some grotesque like growth engine or whatever it's going to be, which is so dumb. But so Dot just seemed cute to me. AI seemed natural. So we said, well, let's call it Dot AI. I don't know what it's going to do yet. And I said, we should probably call Ken, figure this out.
Okay. So can you tell us a little about what it does?
Yeah. So the vision for Dot AI was to replicate and kind of take over a website grader that HubSpot had invented years ago. So we're a HubSpot Gold partner, and HubSpot's awesome, and it's a whole nother universe of platform greatness. But one of the little nuggets they have always used for their own prospecting back in the day was website grader. It was just a grader tool, and we used to embed it on our website, and it was just clunky. Like the UI was gross, it gave you some stuff. It was just pinging to Google, really page speed insights, and just kind of giving you a rough too technical overview of what you're looking at. So our goal was like, hey, how do we make this easy for folks who are running a business, B2B space or other industries that can really relate to this grader, this tool that would evaluate their website. So the goal was, hey, stick it on our website. You put in your email or your domain. Let's say you're shy about your email. Either way, this tool is able to think through grabbing your email based on your domain, which is really slick, and then evaluate your domain score. And it doesn't just give you a grade out of 0 to 100. Let's say you get a 67, which is kind of passing, but not really. It's like you were paying attention to math class, but you weren't that talented type idea. So you're like, I work really hard, but it really helps you with some dialogue and context of your positioning in the marketplace generally. So it starts to open up like, oh man, that 67 score, that's not so bad, but here's some really good golden nuggets I could work on. And then, of course, I chase you through HubSpot to say you shouldn't work on it by yourself. And our workflow, which integrates from .ai, this awesome app platform that Ken, you and your team created for us, it goes right into our HubSpot CRM, which is brilliant. So if people use it, it triggers HubSpot. It sends you a really nice formatted email with your score and all the golden nuggets, and then invites you to book a meeting with me. And then if you don't book a meeting, I chase you until you book the meeting, or you get annoyed with me and you unsubscribe, which is great. So I love it. And that's kind of the context generally of how .ai works.
Awesome. So if we go back to after we'd laid out the concept for kind of an AI-powered lead magnet tool here, like what convinced you to take the next step, and what were the biggest things you were concerned about?
I think the biggest thing for me as a small agency was the investment, which you have to invest in things. It's not to say it was overly costly. It was like, hey, I've never worked with Ken before. More importantly, we have developers. Why don't we just do it ourselves? And what I realized when talking with you, Ken, and understanding this is that you're an expert at AI platforms. Our dev team is good at writing HTML and CSS in JavaScript, right? That's their lane. So I had to wrap my head around that and then release my own innovations to say, Ken is a great guy, came highly referred, just let him do it. And that was great. So that was the biggest thing for me. I think the second part of that was making sure I could find a developer that understood our creative interpretation and vision of it. We're a very strong creative shop, the way we look at UI, UX, and every kind of instance from the way .ai, when you first put in your email address, to how it's parsing out your score, to the email, all that. So it was really a pleasure, Ken, seeing you understand that through our design team and making sure that interpretation was sound, not just, there's just a lot of gross tools out there. One, they don't function well, and two, they just look stupid and they're not pretty. So that was really nice.
Yeah, I think that's a cool thing to dig into. So Laconic Tech is a group of engineers. We're by no means artists or graphical people. So do you want to talk a little bit about how we collaborated together to make sure that Dot had a really slick looking design?
Yeah, and I think the collaboration was a lot easier than maybe you're presenting it, because you engineers are pretty savvy when it comes to look and feel. I mean, I think you guys look good. You dress nice. You clean up your house like all the rest of us. I think there's when it comes to creative, it's one thing is to share the creative idea with a developer. And it's my job or my team's job to make sure they understand what it's supposed to do, the function of it. And the function of it from an engineer, they can really put the light bulb on and say, oh, I get that now. It's going to do X, Y, Z. This is kind of the result of what we're building. And from there, that collaboration just becomes conversational. It's less about here's a creative, build it. More of like, hey, this is what we're thinking. The reason it has to, when you click this button, it has to look this color or then present this information. That becomes conversational, and it's a lot easier to direct. In this case, it was really easy to kind of work with you and your team to direct you on how to interpret our design. So yeah, there's some back and forth, like, oh, make sure the type is a little bit smaller, or what's the specific type family. Those are all nitty gritty design, choices that things like I would notice that the most people would not, but it matters to me. But you were very patient through the process. So the collaborative nature and having patience as an engineer were two great skills I think most engineers have, because they have to be from a function standpoint. And that's why the creative was successful, and how we were able to give you our vision, work through it, and then also ultimately deploy it with success.
Awesome. Thank you. So now that Dot's been up and running in the wild for like a couple of months now, can you talk through how life is now kind of compared to back at the beginning, both internally and what people can see from the outside?
Yeah, life is amazing. I mean, it's our hunter, right? I'm able to use it quickly. Like, we have an internal grader. So if I'm scouring, prospects, I can internally grade the site and then send them an email to say, hey, just was peeking under the hood on your website. You should probably go take a look at this, which is nice. But there is two of our new clients this year, which are substantial contracts for us, right live on the call. They didn't know a lot about 9dot. They didn't know anything about .ai. And every prospect call, I open up their website, I open up our website, and I put their domain right into .ai live. I showed it everything. So Dot, she's such a sweetheart. She performed like I asked her to. She whipped it up, did a little waltz in there, and she just made it happen. And we landed both those accounts. They were looking at the suggestions and those golden nuggets and evaluation live in their score. Yeah, they both sucked at their score. They got like a 45 and I don't know, whatever it was. But when they were reading it together, they're like, oh yeah, we do need to do this. And I was like, wow, it's amazing. Ken McLeod is amazing. This all works. And of course you don't know live when you're running the tool, but it worked great. Close the deal in both instances. So I couldn't be happier. It's made my life extremely easier. And now I have all this time, which I don't know what to do with. So, because Dot has been invented. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. So just to wrap up here, kind of give closing arguments, what would you say to somebody considering working with Laconic Tech to build out some AI tools like this?
I would say if you have a vision or an idea and it's clear, I said call Ken immediately. Ken is one of the smartest, if not the smartest developer I know. And he's very kind, hardworking, and collaborative. You know, he's a good old handshake kind of guy. And I love that. And you don't find that very often in business today. But make sure you have a clear vision, right? Make sure you have a clear idea. And if it's clear, Ken and his team can build it hands down. And it'll pay for itself in the first day. Ours is more than paid for itself easily. And, you know, with not just the tech, but, you know, the way it's built, the longevity of it, and the way we can control it in the future for our own sake and ROI.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Mark.
Thank you, Ken. It's been a pleasure. I'm looking forward to many more projects to come.
Awesome.